we had a kind of a helicopter hovering around, and we were not sure who was in the helicopter. Like, we were afraid probably they were even bandits, but we didn't know. So it hovered for some minutes. I'm not sure it was up to 30 minutes, no.
This is the late evening of Sunday, being 7th day of December 2025. It is a breaking news that the federal government secures release of 100 school children abducted, in Niger State. Bandits, when you hear bandits, they are terrorists. Terrorists on 21st November 2025 attacked the St. Mary's Private Catholic Primary and Secondary School in the remote community of Apiri, abducting 315 people, 203 students and 12 teachers. Now, only 100 were released. Only 100 were released. Now, do you see the language used by Chinese television? We Nigerians or people in Africa, they will see news, they won't read meaning to the news, what they are talking about. Now, the word secured. Securing a release means that the victim is let go by the captors. Like, federal government did not rescue them. But these kidnappers, after enough begging, after enough negotiation, after maybe paying money, their money is not complete, they ask only 100 to go. We still have 200 and something in captivity. So this is what is going on. And Nuhu Ribadu made a statement of which I have been dragging him for that statement. He said that the school children are doing fine. I said, okay, this man is in contact with the terrorists, because if you're not in the contact with the terrorists, someone they kidnap from school, they abducted children from school, they are not seeing their parents, you don't know whether they are feeding, you just said that they are doing okay. Something is actually wrong with a black man. He said they are doing fine. He was talking to the parents of the victims, that they are doing fine in captivity. So that connotes that this man is always talking with the terrorists. Now, these terrorists have now released just 100 people out of 300 and something. They didn't release the teachers. They have sold them probably, or what? And everybody is sleeping. You said all is well, that Nigeria is working, that Nigeria is sustainable. A country that is keeping silent. They sent fighter jet to Cotonou when the rumor of the new started happening. And people are in the bush. They didn't send fighter jets even to survey the area. We are in a big trouble. A very serious one. A very serious trouble. Anyway, it's unfortunate that no matter what you say, nothing changes, because you see, anything that is going to spoil, people will stop listening. Because if people are listening and acting, it will not spoil. Nigeria is heading to doom. Nigeria is heading to doom. I'm telling you, federal government begging terrorists to release victims, and they release only 100. And this was a calculated game. The federal government officials asked the military to leave the place before the terrorists came and abducted them. And while terrorists was kidnapping them, there was a confession of the school from the school. A confession from the school. It's on the AIT television. I also published it at the time. The teacher said the helicopter was up, monitoring the abduction of the school children. If I tell you that Nigeria is a terrorist state, I don't know. Nigeria is just a terrorist state. The government officials imported terrorists, imported Fulani militia. They admitted they imported. Every Derofa is telling you that Tinubu is paying terrorists through the office of NSA. Babadati Ahmed will come and tell you the same thing. The head of Defense Intelligence Agency will come and tell you the same thing. T.Y. Danjuma will say the same thing. Major generals will come and say the same thing. Like, what is the solution out of these things? The problem is that there are some set of people, according to Kunde Olaomi, who are bent on Islamizing Nigeria. And they don't want to do it openly. They want to do it on a very strategic system that nobody will notice what they are doing. Even the intellectuals, the professors, will tell you that anybody talking about Islamization is a foolish person. That thing does not exist. Why? Because these people have made it not to make sense to them. You understand? This strategy they are using, it will never make sense to anybody at all. Anyway, it is what it is.
So far, no group has taken responsibility for the abduction, nor has there been any communication as to the demand for ransom for the release of the children and teachers. Traveling to Papiri in the Agwara local government area from Mina was another journey.
For you to get to Papiri, where the abduction took place, you have to journey from Mina to Zamari here in Birni Yauri. It will take about 6 hours. Then you cross over to Roya, and from Roya you take another vehicle. If you're going to Agwara, from Agwara to Papiri, it will take another 30 minutes.
At the school, it was a sorry sight to behold at the premises of the St. Mary's Catholic Primary and Secondary School, Papiri, when parents and loved ones of the abducted 239 school children and 12 teachers staged a protest with a free flow of tears, lamentation, anguish, dashed hope and wailing that filled the air. Some parents who had 4 to 5 of their children abducted could not hold back tears to speak to the camera, but said they only imagine what the children who are between the ages of 6 and above are going through in the hands of the terrorists. Such a view was held by 35-year-old Samson Najaja, whose 15-year-old son was abducted. According to him, he was a victim of kidnapping in 2021 and knew what he suffered in the hands of the terrorists who refused Naira as ransom but Sefa currency. Therefore, he could only imagine what the children are going through. A teacher, Martha Matthias, whose husband was abducted along with the children, narrated how her 5-year-old daughter saved her from being abducted.
When I took my baby, my daughter now wake up and saw them. She shouted. She now followed me. When she came out, she saw her daddy lying down. She now shouted, "Why your daddy?" She wanted to go to him. I now say, "Hold on, just come." They say if she did not go back, they will shoot her. She refused. They now put gun for her here that if she did not keep quiet, they will shoot her now. She said, "How old is your baby?" 5 years old. She said she must follow mommy and daddy. From there, one of them now asked me to go back and stay with the children.
Both the principal, Felicia Gyang, and the head teacher, Blessing Amodu, narrated their ordeal.
We had bangings on our gates and the children wailing, crying, and we heard voices saying, in Hausa, meaning that we should pack the children and get money. We were there until after maybe there about 4. We heard a kind of a helicopter hovering around, and we were not sure who was in the helicopter. Like, we were afraid, probably they were even bandits, but we didn't know, so it hovered for some minutes. I'm not sure it was up to 30 minutes, no. Just hovered around, and at a certain point we didn't hear it again, so that was how it was. But then the helicopter came after we heard them driving off. They drove off, we heard the sound of cars, but we couldn't tell how many cars were there, and bikes. And they sounded so many, overwhelming, that we couldn't tell about the numbers.
I'm very sad that the children up to now, they are not yet back. All I'm pleading at this moment is for the government to please, and all those who are touched by this incident, to please look for ways of how to rescue these children back to us and our staff. That is all I'm pleading for at this moment. Nothing more than that. They should release them and bring them back to us.
The Catholic Bishop of Kotangora Diocese and proprietor of the school, Most Reverend Bulus Yohana, expressed optimism about the safe rescue of the children and teachers, saying the school serves over 50 communities within and outside Agwara local government area.
So I'm calling on the federal government and the state government to do whatever it takes to bring them back. Because many of the parents, in fact, we have already recorded 2 deaths, 1 man and 1 woman from different families who are affected by this incident that happened. So the more these students are away from their parents, the more the situation, I mean, especially the parents. It's a pity that many of them we can't contact them. We don't even know the real situation that they are.
As we speak, till this moment, no communication whatsoever has been established between the terrorists and the school authority. The parents are hoping and can only hope. But the question is, how long will this hope continue, as their hope continues to burn out till the government come to their aid? Zachary Omale, AIT News, Papiri.
We've gotten exclusively on China's television. Breaking news right for you right now. Federal government has secured the release of abducted 100 school children abducted in their school at the St. Mary's Catholic School in Papiri, Niger State. Breaking news, the federal government has secured, and security operatives have now secured the release of 100 out of the over 300 or so school children abducted in their school at the St. Mary's Catholic School in Papiri, Niger State. The school attack happened earlier this month, leaving parents and Nigerians at large wondering the release and when the return of these school kids will be. So, but we can break for you right here, right now on China's television, exclusive. Niger school kids, 100 of them have now been released safely, and more development in that regard will be happening. And the details of how that has happened, cherry news for those who have been expecting these school kids to come home. 100 of them have now been released by security operatives.